What has been the most difficult part of your relationship? Long distance.
Long distance sucks.
Thumbs down. I'm sure a lot of people have done long distance relationships that are watching this. You feel the pain. Shout out. It's something where it's the promise of something, but never the actuality. And so you have this emotional connection that are hundreds of miles apart, and it really it's just difficult. I think it's healthy to a certain degree for a certain period of time, but we were long distance for 2 years. Getting kind of stagnant in long distance was very difficult, and we definitely went through a period of that discovery.
Yeah, I think both of our personalities did well with long distance at the beginning because we were both pretty independent. I was in college, finishing up my last 2 years, and so I had a ton going on, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Isaac was doing software development, school, boot camp stuff, and he was figuring out stuff and traveling around, and so both of us were kind of getting our bearings on life a little bit. So I think it helped us just to have a little bit more space maybe and not be in the same place as each other, so we wouldn't all of a sudden become all consumed with one another maybe. So I think it kind of it slowed down the relationship a lot, which I think was helpful. But I think once we got towards the end of those 2 years, we both really just wanted to be together already and see if we would work in the same place and see what that would even be like, if we could, not be so independent in the same place, or how we would do with that. And so towards the end, I think it just got really hard emotionally, and even what you're talking about stagnant wise, it almost kind of felt like we reached this point of okay, this kind of feels like it stayed in the same place for a little bit now.
Because you only can get so close long distance, and at a certain point you have to be in the same place to get to that next step.
I think we grew a lot in our communication because all we had was talking. We didn't have anything else, but you miss all of those things, just doing everyday life together, and we've never gotten to experience just really simple things like sitting next to each other, at a coffee shop, little things like that, which honestly are huge, and I don't think either of us realized that because we never dated anyone before. We got to know each other over long distance, and so we had no idea what that would even be like.
It was all new beginnings.
So
and you don't have a spiritual community, you don't have a relationship with other people, you're not known with couple friends or single friends, and you don't see that us engaging with people at parties or going to sporting stuff. It's just there's all that is void. And we had great conversations, but you want to be doing life.
That was a huge thing, is we didn't see each other with other people. And so all we knew was what we heard of that we were saying from one another, but you learn so much about other people when you see them with other people, and we just never got that. Just never felt like we had people surrounding us and that were both of our friends. And so when we finally got to the same place, we joined a small group, and we both made new friends together. That really helped us just have people around us that knew us as a couple rather than knowing us individually and then trying to get to know the other person.
It's really true.
That was really helpful.
I'm so glad we're not doing long distance anymore. So we didn't write these questions, just FYI. The next question is, some people can look at your relationship and think that it is perfect. Two models falling in love. What would you like to share with people about what it's like to date a model and how looks are not everything? Good question.
Great question.
Aren't looks everything?
That's the only reason I like you.
That's very shallow.
Sorry.
What I would say is, in a kind of fake it till you make it, look good, image is everything world, when people see something that they think looks good, they think is perfect. And we both have gone through some really difficult things in the last couple of years. You have all this shallowness, and it's very easy to jump into a relationship because of looks and you're attractive, but there has to be depth. Christians live a hidden life of sacrificial service. And so you want to see that someone, way more than looks, way more than anything of this front, is how do they love their family, their friends, people that are tough to love. How do they love them, and how do they have a lifestyle of hidden sacrifice? That is gold. And what you have in front of all of that is just exterior, and you have to go to that deep core of who is this person when things are tough. So I guess the biggest thing is it's very easy to get sidetracked by looks. But as J.R. Tolkien said, not all that glitters is gold.
There it is.
Yeah.
Nice. I think For me, I mean, just to be honest, when I was first talking to Isaac, of course, I was like, oh, he's really cute. So, I mean, but I always obviously knew that I needed somebody with depth, like you were saying, and somebody who, I mean, that's like the initial attraction that we both had with each other, but we both knew that we didn't want to actually be together if there wasn't that depth and there wasn't that friendship and there wasn't, you know, that faith that we both shared, because that's like our lives and that's what we wanted in a relationship. And so the more I got to know him, I mean, it's just funny, like we'd have these conversations and at the beginning I'd be kind of nervous because I'd be looking at you and be like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. But then like we'd be talking for a while and like it would be like the last thing on my mind because like we're just having conversations and hanging out with each other, and of course I just think he's like the cutest thing ever still. But I mean, but I know his heart and that's what I love about him, and it's not just because he's cute at all. Yeah. Isaac's always been very driven and very hardworking and very passionate, and those are things that I saw in him from the beginning and things that I still really admire about him. So
my heart is melting.
Oh wow.
The last question is, any embarrassing stories?
Oh, do we have embarrassing stories?
My life is a reel of embarrassing
I had like a recent one with you. We were at a Mexican restaurant the other night, and one of Isaac's friends was there.
Sorry, this is
great. We were like talking to him before we sat down, and everything was chill. Like he's a very chill person, like
so chill.
Really kind of cool. And so I was trying to, you know, like be like, oh yeah, I'm chill too. And so we like sat down, and he sat down somewhere else, and he came by again to like say
bye.
To say bye. And he comes by and like he's like, okay, yeah man, like so good to see you, and he like puts his hand like this in front of the table, and so I'm thinking like, oh, like he's, you know, gonna kind of like, it wasn't a handshake, it was more of like one of those things guys do, you know, where you're kind of like this, oh yeah man, and you like kind of drop it and you're like, cool, and I'm like, oh sweet, like I'm one of the boys, like he's doing it with me. So I put my hand on his hand, but he like kind of goes limp because it obviously was not for me, and then Isaac like grabs both of our hands and we all just like hold on to each other for a second, and he was like, oh, I like that, and I was like, I definitely was not supposed to be a part of that.
So it was a bro shake, right? A little bit of a bro shake. You may have jumped into the bro shake, yeah. But to redeem it all, he said, I love that just happened.
That's what he said.
And so, you know what?
And so he walks away and I try to act like I'm all cool, and then later with Isaac, I'm like, I'm so embarrassed right now.
It was really cute.
So,
I thought it was funny.
Not the most embarrassing moment of my life, but that's a recent story. I'm just trying to be one of you and your friends, so I didn't do a good job.
Howdy.
Hi guys, so we forgot to record an ending to our last video, and we just wanted to let you guys know there will be more videos coming up. Thank you for watching. Send us any questions if you have any at all, and we love hearing from you guys, so
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Cheers.
Bye.